what's up, programming? Welcome back to another video and another lesson of the MeStack project course. Now we're gonna continue this course by setting up everything, our backend, our frontend, our database, and everything just from this video. So let's just get started. Now I have terminal open to set everything up. So I will go to a project. What I call it. So I'm going to go to a folder where I place all my projects. So you should also have actually I'm on the wrong folder. Let me see. Yep, I'm on the wrong folder. I want to go on YouTube. So I have a folder called YouTube where I place all my projects related to YouTube. So you should also have it. So where you place different projects in different places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder here called MeStack project. Okay, makes sense. And we're going to hit enter, and this will create that, and we can cd into it. And then what we're gonna do here is go in, and first of all we want to set up our backend. So to set everything up, we need Node.js to be installed on our system. So you should go to nodejs.org and you should download the latest Node.js version. Node.js is the JavaScript runtime which let us do everything inside of a computer, not in a browser. Okay, so once you have it installed, then make sure you install the latest version. Then you should also have npm. So you can type npm, and then you should get like this command should run. Okay, so this shouldn't fail. So if I do an npm -- version, so if I do that, npm -- version, so let it do something. Yep. So my current npm version is 7.13.0. Whatever it is, you should grab the latest one. And here I want to do now npm install -g, and you want to install NestJS /CLI. So this is a npm package which you should install to get the NestJS CLI installed in your system. We talk about what is NestJS, which is a Node.js framework with everything included, with a perfect architecture we want and everything. So you should have this. I already have it, so I'm not going to run this command. So I'm going to cancel it, and I will run nest new. So nest is the name of the command line tool that it gives us, and then new is just a command to run. So we are going to say nest new and the name of our application. So we should have like backend, or we can also call it API. So basically an architecture should be like, you should have a backend folder or an API folder, or maybe like server folder, and then you should also have a maybe like front end or client or web. So like you can choose whatever you want. I'm going to call it API. So nest new API. Okay, again, you can call it whatever. You can call it what I'm calling it. So my amazing API. You can also call it this. Didn't make any sense for me, but again, you can call it whatever you want. So let's just call it just API and hit enter, and this will create a new NestJS application. Now it might take a little time to do, but we'll wait for some time. And also, if you don't know anything about NestJS, you don't know how it works and anything like that, you can check out my NestJS crash course if you want it. Link will be on the description or right here. I don't know. Here, right here. Yes, so you'll see that it's just taking a little time. It also asks for us for which package manager you want to use, npm, yarn, whatever. I don't know why it's not popping up. This is saying we will scaffold your app in few seconds, and then it asks me which package manager would you love to use. Okay, so I'm going to use npm. As you can see here, we got npm, we got yarn, we got pnpm, whatever you can choose. I'm going to choose the default npm because everyone has it. When you install Node.js, npm will automatically be installed for you. If you want to install some other package manager like yarn or pnpm, you can, but again, you need to install that. So this will take a little time, and it's saying, hey, please take a coffee then. So finally our API is created. Yes, it take a little time. It depends on computer. So now what we can do is, as you can see, they tell us that you can do a successfully created project API, which is the name of project we gave, and get started with the following commands. So they gives us two commands: cd API, so they're saying get into the API folder, then run this script start by just typing npm start. So we'll just do that, and we are also going to test this API through our browser, and then we are going to talk about that later on, how we are going to test stuff. So if we cd into API, and then here we will do an npm run start. And a quick note is that npm run start will start this on the production, not production exactly, but it's going to run it, and it's going to run it, and then, like, how to tell you it, if I make any changes, then automatically not restart it. So if I want it to restart whenever I make any change, I can say start :dev. Okay, I'm going to say just npm start because I don't do development right now, and we're going to do development later on, but in this lesson we're only going to set it up. So when we do an npm start, and another thing, that NestJS is completely TypeScript. So everything you do is with TypeScript. If you don't want to use TypeScript, then you can, but obviously TypeScript is amazing. If you don't know TypeScript, then you can watch my TypeScript crash course, or I will actually tell you in this lesson, or not in this lesson, actually in this whole project. We'll understand everything step by step. So right now, you know, there is a framework called NestJS for Node.js, in which you have TypeScript support out of the box. We can have an amazing CLI, and it's amazing. Yep. And I don't know why it's not starting. Now, as you can see, it says Nest application successfully started. Now, what I can do is I can go to my browser, go to localhost 3000, and hit enter. You will see that we got hello world. We got hello world. Isn't it amazing? It is. So that's coming from an API that we just created. So now it's time for set up our front end. So to set it up, it's very easy steps, almost similar to how we do with our API. So first of all, we need to close this application so we can cancel it. I don't know why it's not. So we'll create a new bash terminal here. Okay, we'll make it a little bigger, and we go to that project's YouTube, and we'll go to that mean stack project. And here what we are going to do is we're going to say, instead of nest new and using the nest CLI, what we want to do here is type in, first of all, we need to install the Angular/CLI. So Angular is the front-end framework we are going to use. So it also comes with a CLI that we can install. This is another package, Angular/CLI. So you can install this. Again, I already have it, so I don't need to install it. So then I can say ng-new. Just clear it out, and then we can say ng-new. And then as we call it API in the previous project, we can do a web here. So ng-new web. Hit enter. Again, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So, but it should be in it, like, have no spaces, and it should only have dashes in small letters. That is also called as kebab case, I think. And it will take some time. Now it will also ask us if we want routing or not, if we want to use CSS, SCSS, Sass, or less styles, I think also. So we can choose from there as well. So let it pop up. So as you can see, now it asks us if you want to use Angular routing or not. So in this project, we want to use Angular routing, so we can say yes. And then it says which style sheet format would you like to use. So basically you can choose like your standard CSS, or you can select SCSS, or you can select Sass or less, whatever you want. But because we're going to use Tailwind, we can select whatever we want, and it didn't matter. So we'll select the plain CSS, the standard CSS we want to use, and this will take a little time to create all these files, create all the stuff that we need, install all the packages. As you can see, installing all the packages through npm. You can say --yarn, I think. It don't matter what it is, but you can change this package manager if you wanted. Now it will take some time and install all the packages that we need. So I'll meet you later on. Now as you can see, this is also done. And now what we can do is we can run this project as well by just doing cd web. And to run this project, you again need to do an npm run start here. Hit enter. And you don't need anything like :dev. It will automatically start us on dev mode, because there's nothing like a production server and this like development server. What happened is like Angular compiles everything to vanilla.js. Not vanilla.js actually. It compiled that down. I don't know how it did that, but it did something. It uses Webpack, I think, under the hood. I don't know. So, but it did something, and that is understandable to the browser. And when we build it, then that's the production build that we can serve to a CDN or do whatever with it. Like literally. And currently it is starting, so we might wait for a little time. Now once you have that up and running, you should open localhost 4200 on your browser, and you should see this amazing web application up and running with Angular. Now this is amazing because it's more than hello world. You can see it's saying web app is running, where the web is the name of application that we gave. And then we can also see kind of it says what you should do in the next with your app. So in Angular or any other framework, we have something called component. So if we want to generate a new component, we can click on it and we can see this command to do that right here. So that's amazing. We're going to explore all the CLI commands and everything we need to know about Angular in this project. So now we have our front end set up, and the last thing that we need is our database. So for our database, we're going to use obviously MongoDB, as we talked about. Now there's two ways to install MongoDB. One way is that you can install it locally on your computer and it's up and running. And another way to do that is actually go to cloud.mongodb.com and create a database there. So this will be deployed on a production server, and you can use it and that's great because you don't need to pay for anything. They have a shared cluster in a lot of them. If you have a big database and amazing things going on into it, it's like used by a million users and like million requests going on, and then you can probably go and upgrade your plan. And you can see I just created a, I don't know what it's called, I think project. I just created a new project called MeStack project, and then inside of it I created a database cluster here. So when you have it set up, you're good to go. Now when you have all these things set up, we have MongoDB, so you should have one thing. No matter where you are hosting your MongoDB, you should have a connection string. Now connection string is something that it is just a string that you use to connect your database to your application. Now you can see we got this connect button over here. We can click on it. So if we click on connect, and then we can see choose a connection method here, and then I can say connect your application. So if I say connect your application, this will give me this. This is the connection string. So basically we got admin, which is the user that I created, password, which obviously I created, I know what the password is, and then I got the name of the database, and you can see they're saying replace password. The password for the admin user, replace my first database with the name of the database that connects will use by default. Connections will use by default. Ensure any option param or URL encoded. We don't matter about that, but they should be URL encoded. We're going to talk about that. So we are going to use mongoose to actually connect with. So we don't need to matter about all that stuff. We just basically add our password here. We just put the name of our database, and we copy this, and boom, we're done. We can just put that right here inside Mongoose, and boom. So that's all I have for this lesson of MeStack project course. Make sure you have checked the whole series of it. So bye bye.